Hello guys! And while some weak politicians keep spreading false narratives about problems in Ukraine that are so great that we have to give up on Ukraine and give it to Russia, which actually caused some of the problems in Ukraine, Ukraine keeps destroying Russian military. And not just on the front lines in Ukraine, but inside Russia. Another precise and very accurate strike destroyed one more Russian command point in Kursk, in the town of Rylsk. And most importantly, according to New York Times, not my subjective Ukrainian data, but official publication in New York Times, North Korean soldiers disappeared from Kursk region. Many of them were lost in the very first battles, and perhaps they need additional training, or they will reappear when more and more of the Russian soldiers will lose their lives as a desperate move of Putin and Kim Jong-un. It is definitely not the time to appease Putin and thus provoke more problems, more wars and conflicts everywhere in the world. Ukraine is determined to defeat and demilitarize Russia. And to witness that, subscribe and also protect yourself together with our community against Russian hybrid warfare. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and I promise you, we know how to defeat Russia. So let's start with one of the most effective strategies, and that is keeping Russia demilitarized. That's actually the only way to achieve lasting peace in this part of the world. Because smart and strong politicians do understand Russian plans don't end with Ukraine or Georgia. They clearly see the weakness of some of our partners and are prepared to keep moving in case they are forgiven all the war crimes in Ukraine, in case the world turns a blind eye on all of that. Trust me, they will move deeper in Europe, and that will be felt even across the ocean. But I'm sure this won't happen because, once again, we know what to do and we want to continue doing that. Hopefully, no more restrictions will stop Ukrainians from targeting Russian military objects. So, another command point was destroyed in Rylsk of the Kursk region that is under the control of the Ukrainian armed forces, many settlements within. And what was really interesting today, one of the Russian ombudsman, quite unusual combination, spoke about Ukrainian soldiers in Kursk and actually reported that our soldiers were so kind to the locals that the locals did not know what to think. Sure, because we are a country that defends human life, that defends law and international world order. And that is another reason why we cannot forgive Russian aggression or forget all that they did to Ukraine, to Mariupol, to Bucha, to Irpin, targeting Odessa, its historical center today, killing lots of civilians yesterday in Sumy. This happens on a daily basis, but we have everything to stop it. We just need your support and understanding. Most importantly, this attack on Russian command point in Kursk region is one of many. Those of you who follow the updates on the channel remember I've spoken about hundreds of North Korean soldiers neutralized in a similar strike approximately a month ago. And also we've neutralized a number of Russian top generals and top officers in Kursk region, which is a war zone inside Russia. And another important reminder, right now there are 12, 15 Russian regions that are a war zone because Putin and his population invited war back to Russia. So when speaking about Ukraine, stop first of all, equating Russia and Ukraine as both parties. No, we have a victim and an aggressor. But at the same time, we are strong enough to defend ourselves, bringing war back to Russia, where it belongs. So we are not a weak partner. We are a partner that surprised the world. Please like and share these videos to remind the others that unpunished evil grows and you do have a friend prepared to end this evil. And it was actually interesting for me to read the report in New York Times speaking about this disappearing North Korean soldiers in Kursk region. I understand how they disappear. We are working on that, but perhaps it's quite obvious they were not prepared for this scale of war. Another reminder why NATO needs Ukraine, not just Ukraine needs NATO. With all our skills, experience of big war, it's important having other regimes like Iran and China watching to have that experience, to have Ukrainian trainers, to have Ukrainian soldiers. And North Korean soldiers traveled to Kursk also to get this experience, but many of them failed. What I've heard from the Ukrainian soldiers, they say that lots of these North Korean soldiers are pretty good fighters. They are super determined, and from what we get from their diaries, the majority of them was sent to Ukraine in a form of like punishment, and they try not to get captured. They do everything to like escape or to neutralize themselves, which is crazy. And another reminder that it is so inhumane, I don't know, I mean, like very wrong for normal human beings to close eyes on all this disrespect to human rights, to human life in different corners of the world. And by letting such regimes as Kim Jong-un, as Putin, as Lukashenko keep destroying their own nations, keep destroying their own people, their intellectuals, their writers, their opposition, we commit a huge crime against this planet, and this leads to more troubles and more bad people shaping the politics of the world. But I'm sure that soon all of this evil will fall, just as it happened with the Assad's regime. And no one expected it coming, and then it collapsed really quickly. Why? Because all of these dictatorships, they are super fake, and they build this image of strong leaders, everything under control, but the moment you fight back, they collapse because they are unprepared for real wars. They are unprepared for people who stand for their values. And you fight a very different war when you stand for your motherland, when you stand for your culture, for your nation, when you stand for, oh my God, I say it, global values, but many people tell me it's not in fashion anymore. But it's not about fashion, it's about the essence of life. Please share these videos if you agree with me, like and leave your comments. I read them, they warm my heart, especially on the days like this one, when I was very dissatisfied with some of the messages that newly chosen Rubio said on the interview. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Join me tomorrow for our live 9 p.m. Kyiv. Join me on Instagram. I'm always happy to see you there. On Blue Sky, the community is getting stronger. On X, it's literally very different and very difficult there. And Threads, and of course our warm Discord community. Check the merch shop for lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, and most importantly, thank you for becoming my true friends. I value that greatly, and I had an opportunity to speak about that today in my native city, Rylsk, because I have become an honorary ambassador of my city just because of our community on YouTube. And thank you so much for that. And remember, after the victory, you are all invited. Slava Ukraini!